My fiancé's childhood sweetheart, or white moonlight, has terminal cancer. Her last wish before she dies is to marry him in a wedding gown. Weeping by her hospital bed, my fiancé Daniel agreed to it. When I found out, I slapped him twice without hesitation. "You love granting wishes so much. Do you think you're a genie in a bottle?" "She wants you to die with her so you can have a ghost marriage in the afterlife. Why don't you grant that one too?" My fiancé Daniel has a childhood sweetheart. Now that she's sick, her dying wish is to marry Daniel in a wedding dress. To be honest, when I first heard this wish, I laughed out loud. Yes, getting cancer is tragic and deserves sympathy. And if a dying person has a wish, any decent human being would try to help fulfill it if they could. But asking someone else's fiancé to hold a wedding with you, isn't that a bit excessive? My best friend told me to warn Daniel not to agree. What did I say back then? Does that even need a warning? Only an idiot would agree to that. Turns out, Daniel really is an idiot. Daniel and I didn't have a deeply passionate romance. Our parents knew each other well and organized a few dinners. Daniel, following his parents' wishes, started pursuing me. Considering everything, he was a good candidate for marriage. He was handsome, came from a similar background, had a good job, and no bad habits. Our parents were pushing us, so after knowing each other for a year, our families discussed the marriage details and prepared for the engagement. Then, unexpectedly, Daniel told me his friend had cancer and asked if we could postpone the engagement. Both families had already picked a date. I was confused. Why would a friend getting cancer delay our engagement? Was he planning not to marry me until his friend recovered? At the time, I thought this friend must be very important to him. I'm not heartless, so I agreed. When discussing it with our parents, I mentioned it to my family beforehand. My parents weren't happy, but they didn't say much. However, when Daniel's mother heard about it, she immediately objected. Daniel pulled her aside and whispered something to her. When they came back, she looked awful but didn't say another word. Mrs. Miller's strange reaction made me suspicious. I suggested going with Daniel to visit his friend. Every time, Daniel found an excuse to refuse or change the subject to brush me off. So I did a little investigating and discovered this friend was actually Daniel's childhood sweetheart, Sophie. Social circles are small. It wasn't hard to find things out. Sophie was the daughter of the Miller family's driver. Sophie's mother died of illness when she was very young. Her father often left early and returned late, driving for Daniel's father. Seeing that Sophie's father was reliable and never made mistakes at work, and since Sophie and Daniel were the same age, the Miller family felt sorry for the father and daughter. They let Sophie live in the Miller household and go to school with Daniel. As adolescents spending so much time together, feelings developed. When the Millers found out they were dating, they didn't explicitly object at first. But then something happened with Sophie's father. He developed a gambling addiction. Wearing Daniel's father's old clothes and driving the Miller family's luxury cars, he pretended to be a boss. He not only swindled money from relatives back home, but also borrowed from loan sharks. It wasn't until the police came to the company to arrest him that everyone found out. He had gambled away all the borrowed money and even mortgaged his house. Under these circumstances, the Miller family couldn't allow Daniel and Sophie to stay together. The debt collectors couldn't get into the Miller estate, so they went to harass Sophie. The Millers promised that if Sophie broke up with Daniel, they would help repay her father's debts and let her stay in the Miller home until she graduated from college. So the loving couple was separated. Such a touching melodrama plot. If the male lead wasn't my fiancé, I might have shed a tear. When I met Daniel, it was 5 years after he graduated college. Sophie had long moved out of the Miller house. The Miller family kept Sophie a secret. If not for this incident, I would have never heard her name. Calculated carefully, the Miller family owed Sophie nothing. In fact, the information I found showed that the Millers even paid for her medical treatment. They had been more than benevolent. I didn't mind Daniel's romantic history. Who hasn't had a few unforgettable loves in their youth? But now, for Daniel to postpone our engagement for her, there was only one reason. He still had feelings for Sophie. still harboring feelings for someone else while pursuing me for marriage. It disgusted me. Obviously, this wedding couldn't happen. Just as I was thinking about how to disgust him back, something even more revolting happened. Sophie had cancer, and her only dying wish was to wear a wedding dress and marry Daniel. I knew Daniel was confused when he postponed the engagement, but I didn't expect him to be this confused. He agreed to Sophie's request. This wasn't just disgusting me, it was a slap in the face. And after the slap, rubbing my face in the dirt, I couldn't tolerate this. I slammed on the gas and drove straight to the hospital where Sophie was being treated. Just as I was about to ask which ward Sophie was in, I heard nurses chatting at the station. The boyfriend of the patient in 507 is so good to her. I heard he spent a lot of money to move her to a VIP ward. Yeah, I heard her acting spoiled, saying she wanted pastries from True Taste Bakery. Her boyfriend brought them that very evening. That place is 20 kilometers from here. Mainly, her boyfriend is handsome too. He told me to be gentle with the injections because she's afraid of pain. His voice is so nice. Wait. Okay, no need to ask which ward Sophie is in, and a little surprise bonus. Hearing with my own ears how much my fiancé loves his childhood sweetheart. Pushing open the ward door, I saw my fiancé earnestly peeling an apple. To avoid the ensuing drama disturbing other patients, I thoughtfully closed the door tight. Daniel was too engrossed to notice my arrival. Sophie saw me but didn't warn him. So I stood quietly to the side, watching him carve a big apple into smaller pieces. When Daniel looked up to hand the apple to Sophie, he finally noticed his fiancée. I could tell he was panicked enough that he tried to shove the fruit knife into his pocket, poked himself, and then stood up, saying, "Emily, why are you here?" "What? My fiancé's friend is sick. Can I come visit?" When Sophie heard me use the word fiancé, her expression changed for a split second before she hid it. Daniel rubbed his nose and said, Of course. This is my friend Sophie. She's been sick, so I haven't had a chance to introduce you." Daniel was guessing how much I knew about him and Sophie. I nodded. True, considering your friend's condition. Hearing me say this, Daniel thought I knew nothing and visibly relaxed. He didn't expect the second half of my sentence to pop his bubble directly. Introducing her to me on your wedding day would have been fine too. "Emily, no, listen to me explain." "Go ahead, speak." "Sophie doesn't have much time left. I just wanted to fulfill her wish. I didn't tell you because I was afraid you'd overthink it." "Afraid I'd overthink it? I was afraid I'd underthink it." With that, I raised my arm and slapped Daniel twice. His face turned red immediately. I was very satisfied with those slaps. They were worth the extra 10 kilograms I added to my workout 3 days ago. "You love granting wishes so much you think you're a genie?" "She wants you to die with her so you can have a ghost marriage. Can you grant that too?" At this point, the little sweetheart Sophie said pitifully from the side, "Sister, don't be mad at Daniel. He just wanted to make me happy." "And you, since you're sick, I won't hit you, but as a courtesy, transfer your house to me to make me happy." I smacked my forehead. "Oh, look at me, I forgot. You don't have a house." "No, really, go ask around. Who's saintly enough? Tell someone you're dying of illness and ask them to transfer their house to you to make you happy. See who's willing to give a house to a dying person just to inherit it back." "Emily, why are your words so ugly?" These two lunatics really made me laugh. My words are ugly? The uglier ones are coming. Nobody wants your house, so why should I want you, Daniel? A divorced man who's a widower. Are you even worth as much as a house? After the hospital incident, Daniel and I were completely done. I blocked him on everything. I went home and told my parents the reason. My dad said, "Well done. I didn't expect that boy Daniel, who looks decent, to do something like this. Daughter, call me next time. I should have beaten him up a bit." He rubbed his fists theatrically as he spoke. Daniel's parents came over with gifts to apologize, saying Daniel had wronged me. My parents kicked them out, gifts and all. This incident wasn't entirely without benefits. At least my parents stopped pressuring me to get married. My best friend, Jessica, is a social media influencer. At first, she planned to expose them and let everyone curse them. Thinking carefully about the kinds of people on the internet, we decided against a direct exposure. Instead, she told the story as anonymous gossip online. As expected, the comment section exploded, cursing this pair of bizarre, trashy people. Just when I thought it was over, Jessica sent me a screenshot. Blogger, is the childhood sweetheart with cancer named Sophie? Since Jessica has a decent following, it would be troublesome if this blew up from online gossip into reality. So she replied cautiously, "Gossip is just a story. Please don't bring real people into it." Unexpectedly, the other party immediately sent a long, pre-written paragraph. "If it is Sophie, I want to ask you to help me expose her. In school, she was in the liberal arts class, and my friend was in the science class, sitting next to Daniel. Sophie heard a rumor from somewhere that my friend liked Daniel, so she got a group of people to bully my friend. Because she was close to Daniel, classmates thought she was a rich young lady. No one dared to provoke her, and a bunch of people helped her bully my friend just to suck up to her. Daniel knew about this, but he turned a blind eye, even thinking it was Sophie showing her love for him. My friend got depression because of this and couldn't continue school. We weren't in the same high school. I only found out after she dropped out. The shadow of bullying followed her. She only had her mother at home, which is why Sophie dared to bully her. Because her daughter dropped out due to depression, my friend's mother was distracted at work, fell, and hit her head on the corner of a machine. She died on the spot. My friend couldn't handle it and committed suicide too. I know you might not believe me, but I have evidence. My friend saved photos of her injuries from Sophie's bullying and the abusive messages in an album. Even on the day she committed suicide, she saw Sophie and Daniel showing off their love on social media. I am also in City A and can show you. I thought Sophie and Daniel had rotted their brains watching too many Korean dramas. But if what this person said was true, they were pure evil. I told Jessica to invite the person out to chat. We agreed to meet in a private room at a friend's coffee shop. The person who arrived was a gentle-looking girl. I was already 80% convinced. After sitting down and introducing herself, fearing we might think she was a scammer, she took out her phone to show us the evidence. Her friend was named Lily. In the photo, she was a girl with a dimple on her left cheek when she smiled. Sophie had posted Lily's photo on her feed, calling her a slut who only knew how to seduce people, spreading rumors that her mother was a prostitute to raise her, saying she loved taking selfies but was ugly and had the nerve to throw herself at Daniel. The comment section was full of people agreeing, saying she shouldn't have messed with Sophie and that an ugly girl like her shouldn't touch Daniel. There were also people jumping on the bandwagon to curse Lily, making up stories about seeing her doing things outside of school. Even at my age, I found these words hard to look at, let alone for a teenage girl. There were photos of dirty words scribbled on Lily's uniform, blackened textbooks, a desk full of black footprints, and her being drenched in dirty water from head to toe. I didn't know how she managed to take photos of these humiliating scenes. Maybe she hoped one day she could use them to punish Sophie. But on the day Lily died, she had taken a screenshot of Sophie and Daniel showing off their love. The comments below were starkly different from hers, full of perfect match and blessings. Lily's friend couldn't stop crying as she showed us. She told us, "I posted this online before, but it didn't make any waves. Some people even commented asking why they bullied your friend and not others." Others said, "The person is dead. Is there any point in digging up things from years ago?" Actually, I've been secretly following Sophie. To be honest, when I heard she got sick, I viciously thought she finally got her karma, and maybe I should let it go. But that day, I saw the video and the blogger's IP address, and I guessed the protagonist might be Sophie. I felt Sophie's actions should be exposed. Why did my friend have to die of depression while she, even in her final moments, gets to steal someone else's fiancé? So I sent you a private message. After listening to Lily's friend, Jessica and I decided to help her. That day, the three of us recorded a video. Jessica stayed up all night editing it and posted it online while the topic was still hot. At the beginning of the video, Jessica hooked the audience's curiosity. In my last video, I talked about a friend's fiancé agreeing to hold a wedding with his sick childhood sweetheart. Many netizens were curious about the follow-up and some questioned the authenticity. Today, I invited the protagonist. I didn't want to expose myself, so I had Jessica blur my face in post-production. Hello, everyone. I am the blogger's friend and the fiancé involved in the story. To prove the authenticity, I've put a photo of them being intimate in the hospital ward in the bottom right corner. To avoid Daniel and Sophie suing us for infringement, Jessica thoughtfully blurred their faces. Moreover, this photo was posted by Sophie herself on social media. She ran an account documenting their school uniform to wedding dress love story, portraying a boyfriend who didn't abandon her despite her illness. In this fast food era, this romantic persona gained her quite a few fans. Lily's friend had once commented about the bullying, but was deleted and blocked immediately. But Lily's friend had screenshotted all those posts. Now, pasted in the video alongside the screenshot of Daniel's proposal to me on WeChat moments, it looked exceptionally ironic. Everyone must be curious why I'm speaking out now. Some will say I'm chasing clout. I won't deny that. I do want people to pay attention to this matter because the lady sitting next to me has something to tell everyone. Hello, everyone. My friend's name was Lily. She was a high school classmate of the childhood sweetheart in the story. Because she sat next to the fiancé in class, the sweetheart misunderstood that my friend liked him and bullied her for 2 years. This included, but was not limited to, spreading rumors and slander online, writing profanities on her uniform, tearing up her books and notebooks, kicking over her desk, forcing her to clean and pouring dirty water over her head, putting dead insects in her food. Many people might ask, why didn't my friend come out and accuse this sweetheart herself? Because due to the prolonged bullying, my friend suffered from severe depression and dropped out of school. Her mother, worried about her, was distracted at work and died in an accident. Being from a single-parent family, my friend couldn't handle the blow and committed suicide. All of this was because of that sweetheart. I am telling this story not to get an apology or anything, but just to let everyone know what they did. I know the person is dead, and punishing the culprit is hard, but I just want justice for my friend. After the video was released, its popularity soared. Although the photos were blurred, resourceful netizens found Sophie's account. The comment section was filled with curses. Sophie denied it at first. She couldn't even remember who Lily was, let alone imagine her actions caused a family tragedy. She even posted on her account, "The innocent have nothing to hide." She seemed certain that too much time had passed and there was no evidence of what she did. Netizens were divided. One side believed Sophie was a bully who refused to admit it. The other side believed I was resentful because my fiancé was stolen and hired people to act and smear them. As the topic grew hotter, more people paid attention, debating the truth. Sophie and Daniel acted as if everything was fine. Sophie even used her illness to play the victim and gain sympathy. Although asking the fiancé to accompany her is wrong, the bullying isn't confirmed. They have years of feelings. What's wrong with fulfilling a dying wish? Someone retorted, "Lots of people are dying. If an old bachelor's dying wish is for you to marry him, go fulfill that too." There are so many internet saints these days. The giant Buddha of Leshan should move over and let you sit there. Daniel changed his number and called me. "Emily, can you ask your friend to take down the video? Sophie is sick. Because of the cyberbullying, her condition has worsened." I really hated myself for not seeing earlier that Daniel was an idiot. If her condition worsened, call a doctor, not me. "Daniel, I didn't expect you to have the nerve to call me. And the video, why should we take it down? Did we expose any privacy? Isn't the information being dug up now all posted by your precious Sophie herself? I didn't know you were this vicious when we were together. No sympathy at all. I didn't know you could be this disgusting and thick-skinned either. I'm vicious. You watched the video, right? Dare you say you didn't know what Sophie did? If telling the truth is vicious, then something even more vicious is coming. When the heat was at its peak, Jessica announced a live stream at 8 p.m. to reveal the truth. At 8 sharp, the live stream was packed with onlookers, slowing down the internet speed. Jessica started, "I know everyone wants to know the follow-up. Don't rush. We will reveal the secret immediately. This matter is very serious. To avoid people thinking we are profiting from this, I have turned off the donation function." Next, the evidence will be presented by Lily's friend. Photos of Lily being bullied were shown one by one. Everyone watching the stream found it shocking. This was what a high school girl experienced. There was also the post Sophie made showing off her relationship on the day Lily decided to commit suicide after learning of her mother's death. Many people screenshotted it and went to Sophie's comments to ask if human blood buns tasted good. A viewer who had contacted us after the last video, a classmate of Lily and Sophie, connected to the live stream and verbally described how Sophie instigated others to bully Lily. The bullying was proven beyond doubt. Sophie and Daniel were likely watching the stream too, as they quickly set their social accounts to private. But screenshots were already everywhere. Sophie's "the innocent have nothing to hide" post became a slap in her own face. Many people in the bullet comments shared their own stories of being bullied in school. At the end of the live stream, Lily's friend said, "Lily wrote a final paragraph before she committed suicide. I want to read it to everyone." Lily's last private post read, "I don't blame the classmates who didn't stand up for me when I was bullied. Putting myself in their shoes, I might not have stood up either because I couldn't guarantee I wouldn't be the next victim. But I remember the tissue handed to me when I was drenched in dirty water in the restroom, the shout of 'Teacher is coming' when Sophie was about to hit me, the tape and notes left beside my torn notebook, and the bread in my desk. These were the reasons I held on for so long. But now that Mom is gone, forgive me, I really can't go on anymore." Sophie was attacked from all sides. Some asked if she was addicted to stealing fiancés. Some said she deserved the illness as karma. Some said people like her should go to hell even after death. Some demanded she apologize. What Sophie did to Lily back then was now returning to her 1,000-fold. Lily's final words prompted many insiders to speak up. "I went to high school with this sweetheart. She hung out with delinquents at school. We all thought her family was as rich as the fiancés, so we didn't dare offend her. Plus, she knew thugs outside school. Many people were bullied by her." "Isn't this Sophie? Her dad owed my family money from gambling and went to jail. I asked her for the money and she told me, 'Who told you to lend it?' In the end, her dad's employer paid it back. I think it was this fiancé's family." The victim was my classmate. The fiancé is Daniel. They were desk mates only because Daniel kept talking to neighbors, and Lily never attended class or disrupted discipline, so the teacher put Daniel next to her. This sweetheart is being treated in our hospital. Before, we said her boyfriend was devoted, arranging a VIP ward and staying with her every day. Didn't expect them to be a scumbag couple doing such disgusting things behind the scenes. There were all kinds of comments. What surprised me most was that some people, seeing Daniel was handsome, actually tried to whitewash him. The fiancé is actually pitiful. Honestly, the whole thing has little to do with him. Agreeing to the wedding was probably out of soft-heartedness to fulfill a dying wish. Taking care of her is due to years of friendship. He's loyal and righteous. I couldn't tolerate this. Why do men get to disappear gracefully in these situations? Luckily, Jessica had tagged my alt account when posting the video, gaining me many followers. I immediately posted a text image on my alt account. Many people sympathize with Mr. Miller, thinking he is just too kind. To this, I want to say he is not innocent. I met Mr. Miller a year ago through our parents. He actively pursued me and expressed that we were a good match and wanted to marry me. During this time, he never mentioned the existence of a childhood sweetheart. Only after our parents set the engagement date did he notify me that a friend was sick and we needed to postpone. At that time, I hadn't even met this friend. I found out the truth by investigating and discovering the existence of the sweetheart myself. When I went to the hospital to confront him, I saw Mr. Miller exchanging vows of love with her. I want to ask Mr. Miller, if I hadn't noticed something was wrong, were you going to hide it from me forever? Were you going to use my kindness to make me marry a man who had already held a wedding with another woman without my knowledge? Was I supposed to endure a husband harboring a dead white moonlight in his heart while being kept in the dark? If you have someone you can't forget, don't mess with me. You delayed our wedding while agreeing to hold a wedding with your sweetheart. You just couldn't let go of your sick sweetheart, but also didn't want to lose a quality marriage partner like me. You can't have your cake and eat it too. So, this outcome is your own doing. As for Sophie's bullying, it's clear Mr. Miller knew everything from the beginning. He knew it started because of him, but he did nothing while Sophie bullied Lily. Thus, he is not innocent. To Mr. Miller, I want to say, I see you enjoy being fought over by different women. This is a sickness. My suggestion is, seek medical help early. This post shot to the top of the trending list. The comment section was full of people cursing Daniel. Internet pick-me girls. Stop sympathizing with men. Keep sympathizing, and I wish your dear hubby has a childhood sweetheart too. Exactly. The comments are all cursing the woman. She deserves to die, but the man isn't anything good either. I don't believe he didn't know about the bullying. And the wedding. Was someone holding a knife to his throat, forcing him to agree? Now that things blew up, the man is hiding again. Sister is so cool and tough. Luckily, you didn't marry the scumbag. If this man had any boundaries, he wouldn't postpone an agreed engagement because an ex-girlfriend was sick, and people still say he's innocent. Please wash your eyes and stop being so man-obsessed. Sympathize with the fiancé. If she wasn't mentally strong, these two would have disgusted her to death. Hope these two pests are locked together forever, loving each other all the way to the 18th level of hell. Don't separate and harm others. Daniel and Sophie's affair became known to everyone. Not only were they cursed online, but real-life friends also cut ties with them. Daniel's parents cut off support for Sophie, stopping her medical payments. They also kicked Daniel out, severed ties, and stated they didn't need such a son. They had money and didn't need Daniel to care for them in old age, nor would he inherit their property. When I heard about them again, Sophie's info had been doxed. During her hospital stay, someone sent her dead rats in white cloth with dye written in red ink. Because her medical payments stopped, she was kicked out of the hospital. Her condition worsened rapidly. She waited for death alone in a rental apartment, afraid to even order takeout lest she be discovered. If Daniel had stayed by Sophie's side in this situation, I might have respected him as a man. But after evidence of Sophie's bullying was cemented, he abandoned her. So-called true love was fragile. Daniel thought once the storm passed, he'd be fine. He didn't believe his parents would truly disown him. But my statement pushed him into the eye of the storm. Everyone saw his true colors. His company fired him, preferring to pay extra compensation rather than keep an employee with such character issues. Although he got a hefty severance package, which company would hire Daniel now? He returned to the Miller home in disgrace, only to find his parents had moved. He couldn't contact them and finally realized he had truly been abandoned. I didn't expect him to have the nerve to come find me. When I saw Daniel again, he hadn't shaved, his clothes were wrinkled, and he looked like he was living a hard life. Emily, you blocked all my contacts. I couldn't find you, so I had to wait here. I took 2 steps back, smelling a stench of garbage on him. What do you want? Emily, I know what I did was wrong. The wedding thing was because Sophie kept begging me. I was soft-hearted and agreed. Now she and I are over. Our relationship was so good before. Can you give me another chance? How low does he have to sink to be this shameless? Leaving aside that we got together because we were a suitable match, looking at Daniel now, how could I have feelings for him? I'm not a trash can that loves picking up garbage. Besides, Daniel You still think you're innocent, pushing all the blame onto Sophie? Daniel said unwillingly, "Isn't that the truth? I didn't do anything. If not for her, how would I be in this state today?" I didn't know whether to call him obsessively deluded or playing dumb. Stop making excuses, Daniel. Stop pretending you don't know anything and faking deep affection. It's disgusting. I wanted to slap him again, but didn't want to dirty my hands, so I continued scolding. You just used Sophie as a fig leaf to cover your selfishness. It all started because of you, and you knew it all along, didn't you? If you had stopped Sophie when she was bullying, Lily's tragedy wouldn't have happened. You could have refused when she wanted to marry you, and you wouldn't be exposed now. You always want to go with the flow and keep your hands clean. Stop playing innocent. Your ending is your own doing. Seeing that getting back together was impossible, Daniel left cursing through gritted teeth. I don't know if he regrets his actions. I assume he doesn't. He'll just blame everyone else. After Daniel left that day, I never saw him again. I heard he went to find Sophie, blaming everything on her. During their argument, Daniel pushed Sophie. The back of her head hit the corner of a table, and blood spilled everywhere. Thinking he had killed someone, Daniel fled in panic, covered in blood. A sanitation worker saw him and called the police. He was arrested. Sophie did die, but the cause was excessive blood loss. She didn't die immediately after hitting her head. If Daniel had checked on her and called for help, timely rescue might have saved her. Sophie died the exact same way as Lily's mother. I wonder if, lying there, feeling her blood drain away, unable to do anything, she thought of Lily, whom she bullied back then. Daniel was sentenced for manslaughter and fleeing the scene. His parents never showed up, not even on the day of the trial. But this had nothing to do with me anymore. Jessica, Lily's friend, and I bought flowers and went to the cemetery to visit Lily. The girl in the photo had a dimple when she smiled. Surprisingly, the area around the grave was unusually clean. Before we placed our flowers, there were already several bouquets there. Lily's friend explained, "Quite a few of Lily's former classmates contacted me. After proving their identity, they asked where Lily's grave was. I guess they left these flowers." The bad people were punished. I don't know if this counts as an answer for Lily, but the weight in my heart has lifted. I have to thank you both. I really didn't expect you'd be willing to speak up and help me so wholeheartedly. I handed her a tissue to wipe her tears and patted her shoulder comfortingly. It's nothing. We didn't do much. Justice may be late, but it won't be absent. With so many people standing by Lily now, she would be happy knowing it. Jessica donated the revenue from the video, hoping to help children currently suffering from bullying. It's all over. I hope the girl in the photo won't encounter rotten people and things in her next life and can live happily. I hope those suffering from bullying have the courage to resist, speak up for themselves, and ensure the bad guys are punished. I also hope those witnessing bullying can lend a helping hand while protecting themselves. May this world get better and better, with no more tragedies caused by bullying, so every child can have a healthy environment to grow up in.